Welcome back to the Kian and Prez show. It's been a very, very long time. Hope you're enjoying your summer. We're starting to ramp up for football season. It is the last day of June. We got July, end of July, of course, we got the Hall of Fame game, and then preseason in August. So it's right around the corner. So with that said, we've had a lot of off-season action, obviously the draft and everything like that, free agency, a lot of things happening. We wanted to give you our rankings, kind of, for the off-season. We're going to give you the five worst off-seasons and the five best off-seasons. Keenan and I will both have a list. Let's start with the worst. I'll go first. We didn't really decide this, but I'll just go first. Starting at number five for me, the worst off-season this year before the NFL 2025 season. Uh, Detroit Lions lost both offense and defensive coordinators to head coaching positions. Obviously, Aaron Glenn going to the New York Jets and Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears. And then you have Frank Ragnow's retirement, uh, which I talk about this as a big point for me that centers are more crucial to offensive lines than you realize, especially on a really good offensive line, and especially with a quarterback that's not that mobile in Jared Goff. So calling out protections, know exactly what's going to be. It's kind of a big deal. So. I think it's going to be rough for them. I think those coaching changes are hard, and I think the offensive line is so crucial to the way they play. So, anyways, number five for me, Detroit Lions.
Okay, number five for me, for least improved teams, worst off seasons, is the Buffalo Bills. I don't necessarily think they got that much worse. I just don't think they really got that much better. Um, they didn't really have any starting lineup changes. They just got some more depth mainly. They have Joshua Palmer now. He should be okay. And Joey Bosa, he's currently injured, and he's had some injury issues in the past, but it's looking like he's going to improve from that. And Larry Ogunjobi is suspended right now, I believe.
Hmm.
And
I don't know if
I,
it's 4 or 6.
I
Yeah.
don't recall, but I
Yeah.
don't know how much he'll play. But I think they have a solid draft. Maxwell Hairston should be good, and it looks like Cole Bishop, who they drafted in the second round last year, will be starting at safety.
Right.
So I think they will still be a good team. I don't think they're going to be like outstanding. Oh, now they're the definitive best team in the AFC.
Right.
So I have them at five. I think you could put multiple teams here, but that's who I have.
All right. Number four for me is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is in this division with the Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champs, the Commanders, who are up and coming. Obviously you have a great young squad. Jaden Daniels and the Giants are trying to do stuff, but what are the Cowboys doing? I mean, you had an opportunity to go get an exciting head coach, and you hire a lifetime assistant in Brian Schottenheimer. Don't think that was a great hire. I know he's actually a really decent play caller, but being head coach, there's a lot of leadership there, a lot of leadership qualities, a lot of organizational qualities, and being in Dallas is a big spotlight. It's a hard job dealing with Jerry, dealing with all the craziness that goes on there. So I don't think that's a good hire. Also, they lost Dexter Lawrence in free agency, and Zach Martin retired. Uh, their roster got worse. Their head coaching got worse. It's just how could they not be worse off than they were? I just don't see good things happening for the Dallas Cowboys. And also, they still got to pay Michael Parsons. So they got a lot of stuff to figure out in Dallas, and I just don't see it getting better for them.
Okay, number four for me. I'm a little bit angry because I'm a bit of a fan of the team. Um, the Pittsburgh Steelers uh, got some family, and they I think they had a pretty good draft.
Right.
I really liked the moves that they made. I really wanted them to get Derek Carmen in the first round, and that's what they did. So they got some more D line depth. They also got Y.A. Black as a good nose tackle. I think he could be in the future. Um, and Caleb Johnson should be able to replace Najee Harris, but um, they didn't really gain too much other than that. They lost some stuff, but and uh, I think they still will be okay. And of course, they have a completely new quarterback room, so that's going to be a little weird. And of course, there's a trade that occurred this morning where they got rid of Minka Fitzpatrick in exchange for Jonnu Smith and
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. I was thinking that that the plan was just to have Darius Slade be the other cornerback in their nickel packages, and still have Beanie Bishop playing the nickel, and hopefully Joey Porter can continue to play well. But I guess not, because there's Jalen Ramsey now, and Minka Fitzpatrick, who is like possibly the best player on their team, is now back with the Dolphins.
Yeah, what a weird career for him.
So
yeah. And also, T.J. Watt is holding out.
yeah,
I mean, he signed a deal in 2021. He sees his rival Myles Garrett getting $40 million a year. He's getting paid $21 million a year, and now they're going to pay Jalen Ramsey more money. They increased his contract. So T.J. Watt's like, "Where's my money?" So not great.
Yeah, so I'm predicting them, as of right now, to drop to 9-8, instead of going 10-7 like the past 2 years. So that is number 4.
All right, number 3 for me has been a very frustrating team for me to watch this offseason. That's the Houston Texans. You know, obviously CJ had, and no, I wouldn't call it a sophomore slump. You know, Peyton Manning put it in perspective. They went to the playoffs last year, and they won a playoff game. A lot of teams can't say that they did that. What are you forgetting? You're making faces at me over there. Anyway, and so but his numbers were down, and the biggest reason was offensive line. So then you trade their best offensive lineman in Laremy Tunsil, and then you really don't address the offensive line with good signings. You brought in a bunch of veterans, no one to really place Tunsil. You waited in the draft to get offensive linemen. I just don't understand it. You're already going to end up with, I think, maybe one of the best defenses in the NFL. I really think the Texans have a phenomenal defense, and D'Amico Ryans does a really good job coaching them up. I think they have a lot of playmakers on defense, and they're going to end up with top 10, maybe top 5 defense, and all you had to fix was one positional group, and you just kind of made it worse. So I just don't understand. Like, you have this opportunity where CJ is on his rookie deal still, so you have all this extra money. You could have gone out and made some deals for offensive linemen, really bolstered it. Look at what the Bears did. Instead, you made it worse, and I just don't understand the logic. I really don't get it. So, Houston, Texas, number 3.
For number 3 for me, we made this list before talking with each other.
No discussions with each other.
Is the Houston Texans. So.
We agree.
Yeah. I mean, I know because this guy's been talking about it so much. I thought he would have them even higher, but.
A little frustrated with the Texans.
Yeah. So they trade Laremy Tunsil, who's a good player. You know, there's some people are saying he had a few too many penalties last year, but that's not anything really. And they replaced him with Cam Robinson. It's like fine. They drafted Ariante Ursary.
Mm-hmm.
He might be good eventually. Who knows? Blake Fisher's still there. Don't know if he's gonna be good. Laken Tomlinson, Ed Ingram. These players are all okay. They're all okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Trent Brown. I forgot about him. He's there too.
Great.
Yeah, so there's some more depth, at least, I guess you can say.
Sure.
And I think you could say they improved somewhat at receiver. I mean, they lose Diggs, they Dell is still injured, and they draft Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll with the picks they got, who might be good. They play together, so we can see how that goes. But their defense should still be decent. I think that didn't really get any worse. But the offense will probably take a step down, or just stay the same. So I think they have gone worse than the Steelers and the Bills and the Lions and the Cowboys.
Alrighty. My number 2 team is the Miami Dolphins. And I just don't get what their plan is, really. Armstead retired. Their O-line was bad. Again, they're like kind of like the Texans. Their O-line was bad, and then they lose their left tackle. They really don't do anything to fix it. They have a quarterback that is at risk of tripping on his own feet and having his career ended. And yet they put a patchwork O-line in front of him, and you've invested so much money in it. Then there's all these talk of veterans, which they, I made this list before today's trade, but then you traded away Ramsey, who's wanting out. He wanted out. He requested a trade. Tyreek Hill's crazy man. You can't count on. I think Mike McDaniel is a good coach. I think Miami is a tough ownership group to work for. I really don't understand where they're going. I wouldn't be. I think he's going to get let go after this year, Mike McDaniel, and I think that he'll get another job someday. I think he'll definitely get an OC job right away if he wants it. But I just don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with the draft. I just don't get it. I don't feel like they're making good moves. I don't think they have a plan. I think, 2 years ago they had this dynamic offense, and they were going to try to, do better. And they're losing free agents. They're trading away good players. It's like they're kind of trying to start over, but not. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And it's not like the division is gangbusters. You have the Bills, but after that, it's wide open. So I don't know. Miami Dolphins. They're frustrating.
Okay, number 2, because I'm a positive guy, so
You are a positive guy.
I'm a positive guy. So I'm also a Vikings fan. In addition to being
Whoa! Don't let them know about that being part of your thing with this pick coming up, because that's gonna give them ammo for not believing in you. Talking to you, Tom Grassi. Go ahead.
I subscribed from him a few months ago.
Whoa!
Take that.
Okay.
Take that, Packers.
Okay, go. So yeah, the Packers, obviously.
Yeah, I have the Packers. I think their draft was decent. I think Matthew Golden should be. I think he might be the best rookie receiver this season. Just phenomenal skills. But other than that, on the offensive line, they signed Aaron Banks, which seems like a really bad signing. And then on defense, they cut Jair Alexander, which makes sense, but then signed Nate Hobbs, who's okay.
Yeah.
And then their corner room still is not good. They still have Keyshawn Nixon starting, and they have some decent young players, but overall in the offseason, I don't feel like they did much of value.
They must really trust their player development big time.
I think they're still gonna be good if Jordan Love is good. But I don't know if he is. So I have them at 2.
Yeah.
Which is not just because I hate the Packers.
Gotcha. All right.
Notice how I don't have the 49ers on here?
Right.
Because I think they
Yeah,
didn't
and it could be
get
argued
us.
you could have the 49ers on there, but I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. Anyways, number 1. I think the best way to build a football team is to have an amazing O line, an amazing defensive line, and then figure out the rest. If you can dominate the line of scrimmage, it's worked for 100 years. You're gonna win football games. What I don't recommend doing is spending 2/3. That's right, 2/3 of your money. Maybe I'm fudging the numbers. Maybe how about this? Half of your salary cap on 3 players, none of which are on the offense or defensive line. I'm talking to you, Cincinnati Bengals. You're paying Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins a ridiculous amount of money. Now, are they good players? Yes. Are they great players? Yes. Get it. Are you going to win a lot of football games? No, you're not. Because your best defensive player, you decided not to re-sign him and Trey Hendrickson. You thought you were smart and you're going to draft his replacement, but then you can't even sign him to a rookie deal because you're trying to put in some silly clause about not having to pay him through his rookie deal. I'm sorry for you Cincinnati fans. Because I know you love Burrow and you love Chase and you love Higgins and you want them all to stay. But they're not team-friendly deals. And you're locked in now. For the next 3 years, this is it. And you're not drafting well. And you're not taking care of your defense. You're going to be a sieve. Every game is going to be 42-49, and you're going to score 42 and lose. Some of these teams I just don't get it. I don't get it. Forget how football's played. Joe Burrow will be lucky to make it to the offseason. Yeah. Anyways, I'm done. Who's your number one, Kian?
Again, not influenced by me partially being a Steelers fan. Because
Well, I thought about putting the Browns on there, but I didn't.
I mean,
The Browns are the Browns. They get piled on enough already. They don't need me helping them out.
yeah. So number one is not the Baltimore Ravens. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens had a good offseason.
Yeah. They were number 6 on my best offseason.
So the Cincinnati Bengals, because they paid, they had to give out some extensions. All they really got in the draft that I think could make impact right now in year one is some linebacker depth and Dylan Fairchild to replace Alex Kappa, a guard. So I don't think they've really changed that much at all. There's still probably gonna be the Browns. I do think the Browns improved more than the Bengals did, and that's they could. No, the Bengals are still gonna do better, but
Just because they have Joe Burrow and the Browns don't have any idea who's playing quarterback for them.
yeah.
They've got 5 quarterbacks, maybe 6. Is it 6? They have 6 quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, it's not six. You can have as many as you want.
6, because we need 6 to figure it
I mean, the Steelers have like 5.
out. Okay, we're getting off track. Finish with your Bengals. We're rusty.
Yeah. Shamar Stewart was a great player.
Yeah.
Got a lot of pressures. He's very, very athletic. And he could maybe he lost some weight at the combine, but he's still a bigger guy, so he could still slide inside to play defensive tackle. Still, this doesn't end up like Miles Murphy, where we have not seen anything at all. So I think the Bengals are they're just gonna stay under the Steelers and Ravens and watch them have success while they try their best to throw and catch touchdowns.
All right, let's positive. All right, the negative part is over. Let's be positive and let's hurry this
Hey,
up.
I'm
Let's
a
speed it up.
positive guy.
Speed it up. Okay. Best off season. Washington Commanders. They're the other side of Houston. They get Larry Tunsil. They draft another tackle as well. They make a trade for Debo Samuel to get another playmaker beside Javon Kinlaw. They have a great draft where they're trying to bolster the defense. They kept guys in town like Bobby. So they're doing all the right things around Jaden Daniels. One, they're going to protect him more. Two, they're going to work on the defense, bolster it, try to work on that pass rush. I mean, they're doing it the smart way. They're not overspending, and but they are working on bringing the right pieces in. And they're like, we played in the NFC Championship game, so why should we be making moves? I agree with them. I agree with them. Only team standing in your way is the Eagles, and that's a pretty good team. But I appreciate their willingness to go for it, and I feel like they're doing it the right way. Just pick a better name. Let's get over to the Commanders. All right, who's your number five?
Oh, number five. I'm not biased. Is the Seattle Seahawks, who,
Whoa.
um, I debated other teams for the spot, but I just throw in the Seahawks because they did have a really great draft. They violently disemboweled the draft, is what I have written. Um, Gray Zabel is
I don't know how that applies, but okay.
because they did really good.
Yeah,
You
got it. Just keep going. I'm just gonna process
like
that.
if the draft
Don't explain it.
was
Don't explain it. Just let it sit there in the air, hang or linger, and I will keep going.
has it lingered?
Keep going, please.
Okay. Um, so Gray Zabel, second guard drafted, and versatile offensive lineman, and he should be hopefully immediately great. Hopefully Christian Haynes can improve in the second season. Charles Cross has been really good actually, and should be hopefully even better this season. You gotta talk about Sam Darnold. Everyone stuck up on the last two games he played and that one random Jaguars game. But I'm hoping he can. I'm hoping and I'm believing that he can do good.
It's also a very team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
They can cut
And
him.
they also drafted Jalen Milroe and Nick Eamon-Mori, who should be
Athletic freaks with huge upside.
yes. I don't think they'll be. I don't think they should play or be great immediately.
No.
I think maybe Eamon-Mori can be in a few box sets.
I think they're gonna put him in some types of third down sets with extra defensive backs, and they'll put him sometimes in the nickel spot, and either he'll defend or he'll blitz. Gonna be a great blitzer.
But I like the Clint Kubiak hiring, and
Yes.
they got some good pieces. They got some good scheme fits.
Yep.
They bought Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Who knows the offense? You always want to have a veteran in that knows the offense, and he's your veteran that knows the offense. Yeah.
They have Cooper Cup now. They did trade away DK and Gino, which made me sad.
Don't want to talk about it.
But Jackson Smith and Jigba is good, and he'll be great. And that's just the offense, basically. And on defense, I think everything is looking up for the Seahawks right now, and I think they deserve this number 5 spot.
Okay. Number 4, I got Tampa Bay. They talked Mr. Godwin to come back at a discount price. Well documented that he was offered $100 million from the Patriots and said no. I don't know if he's going to come back this year, but that's why they drafted Egbuka, and he's a perfect fit. And I think with Mike Evans is aging. Obviously, he's a crazy man. He keeps getting 1,000 yards every year. And McMillan played really great as a rookie. They did lose their offensive coordinator, but I think they'll be fine because Baker has shown incredible leadership, and a lot of their offensive pieces are still. And Bucky Irving is going to be in year two, and he's going to be even better. I also thought they had a really good draft. They had big issues at corner last year, and they drafted good corners to address that issue. They just really drafted smart. And after Tom Brady left in that Super Bowl run, people were wondering how this team would transition. And I feel like they've done a good job of keeping a core by bringing in new players. And I think they're quietly, gonna be the class of that division for a while. I don't think, I think maybe Carolina could be the second best team next year. Who knows? Atlanta's done some funky things, obviously, and the Saints are a disaster. So I think Tampa Bay is just quietly doing the right things and being smart about it, and I just like the way they run their team. So number four, I have the Buccaneers.
Okay, number 4, the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, I think I just mentioned them. Go ahead.
The Panthers. They had pick 8 in the draft, and originally when I saw them draft Taylor McMillan, my first thought was, why did they not draft Jalen Walker?
Hmm.
He, incredible, I think, best edge available, and he ends up going at spot 15 to the Falcons, who a lot of people didn't really like that draft, but some people did.
Just gave a lot up for Pierce,
I don't really think they did if you look at it, but
That's what people are saying. I'm just quoting them. I didn't say it for me. Keep going.
okay. But I then the second round and day 2 comes. They draft Nick Scorin, and they draft Princely Umamielen, 2 really good edge rushing prospects that could have gone even higher. And I think they actually did a really good job in the drafts now. Tyrell McMillan will be a good target for Bryce Young. Xavier Liga hasn't been exactly what we have hoped for so far. And I thought he was...
Yeah, sometimes receivers take 2 years, and so, we'll give him a break.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I didn't like the McMillan pick as much at first as well, because I thought, they're both ex-receivers. But McMillan can do so much more, and there's nothing wrong with having 2 great young players like that on their team. And I think their offensive line is still good, and they got more running back depth, and their defense has gotten even better. They bring in Traylon Merrick, I think, as well, and I think they still have some places that need work, but I think that this is a much improved team, and I think Dave Canales and his group have done a pretty good job so far.
Okay. Number 3, the New England Patriots. Huge head coach upgrade with Mike Vrabel. Great draft. They brought in some guys, some Vrabel guys, free agent signings of Spillane, Super Bowl winning defensive tackle Milton Williams from the Eagles. They've upgraded some positions. Will Campbell, no-brainer. Offensive line was their biggest issue. This team's going to have an identity. And I think Drake May showed a lot of toughness last year, and I think it's really crucial to have a good head coach, quarterback combination. Something that Vrabel really never had in Tennessee. A guy that really fit his personality. When you think of Belichick and Brady, why were they so successful? Super cerebral, both in their game planning and how they played the game, right? Always looking for advantages. I think Vrabel needed a guy that's tough like him, and Drake May is tough. And I think they're going to be a great matchup. So it's a really good head coaching hire. And I think he just went out and got a bunch of guys that just really have that grit. And I think the Patriots kind of almost changed their culture a little bit in an off season, which is what you want to see. So that's really great. Number 3, I got the New England Patriots.
Okay. Number 3 for me is the Chicago Bears.
Chicago.
Um, so, the main thing here is they've Ben Johnson now, and then their offensive line now should be good. I mean, they have 3 great veterans. They spent a little bit to get them, but they want to protect Caleb Williams. And Braxton Jones, I think is his name, and Darnell Wright. Hopefully they can. They're still
young.
They're still young, and they've shown they've shown that they can play well at times. So I think their offensive line will hopefully be good for the future, and they've still got the great receiver room, and Colston Loveland's now. So offense looking great, and the defense. I mean, they added even more veterans like Brady Jarrett, and they've still got like Jalen Johnson and some great players. And I still think it's going to be tough, but I don't know. Maybe they might be able to surpass the Packers soon if the Packers can continue to not improve much.
All right, my number 2 is Chicago Bears. All the things you said, head coach Ben Johnson, offensive line upgrades. I like what they did in the draft. They didn't bring back Keenan Allen, and so they got Luther Burden and obviously Colton Loveland. Pass catchers. Loveland kind of fits. He was a surprise to go ahead of Warren in the draft, but he's kind of a better fit for the way Ben Johnson runs his tight ends. And the tight formations he likes to run. He likes to run in a lot of bunch groupings. So Loveland's going to get some play, especially in the red zone and stuff like that. But this is all I'm going to say. The Bears did really smart. They've given Caleb all the reasons to be successful. And I'm going to say this to you, Chicago Bears fans. If this doesn't work, the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson combo with this O-line and all these weapons and everything you have going for you, it just means you were never destined to have a good quarterback. And that's just the way it is. You just got to live with it. This is your best shot. You drafted the right guy. You got a really, really good offensive player caller. You got all the weapons. You got an offensive line. If this doesn't work, it just means you're cursed. And I don't know why you're cursed. It just means that you are. And you just have to live with it and accept it as Chicago fans. And just realize the only way you're ever going to be good is just play defense and run the football and hope something good happens. But quarterback play may just not be in the cards if this doesn't work out. All right.
Okay. Number 2. It's just confused because you had Bears 2 and I had Bears 3. Okay. Number 2, I have the Raiders now with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. No bias.
Who's no bias?
I mean, no bias towards the Raiders because they've former Seahawks.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah, we're filming this at late at night.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think their wide receiver room is better. Jackson Powers Johnson is now playing center where he played at college. And of course Ashton Genty should probably be instantly amazing behind a pretty good offensive line that they have. And then, they also signed Raheem Mostert, who is a veteran backup. And then Jeremy Chin should be a good role player. Alenton Roberts, Jermaine Pratt, and Darian Porter, solid draft pick. So I think they overall have improved. They just got proven good players, and I think it's going to be more difficult for the Broncos and Chargers to contend for number 2 or number 1.
Right, my number 1 is the Raiders. What Keen said, no bias. But the biggest thing for me is you're getting a head coach upgrade. You're getting a quarterback upgrade too. That's the thing that puts the Raiders above this to me is the quarterback play is going to go away. Your offensive line was pretty decent. Gino really hasn't played behind a good offensive line in his last couple years in Seattle. Uh, for a bunch of injuries, a bunch of horrible interior play. He's gone through a bad OC last year. He's getting Chip Kelly now as his OC. And a role that Chip is really best fit for in the NFL. We tried the head coaching experiment, didn't really work out. But someone just going to call plays and work out game plans, going to be great. Um, they're going to run the football. What are you doing? Oh, I see. They're going to run the football, and they're going to have an identity. The culture there with Pete is going to be great. Don't forget about Tom Brady's leadership. I think that he's part of this. He's going to start putting his fingers into certain things and helping out. And I just also think that their defense wasn't healthy last year. Crosby's going to come back healthy. Wilkins will come back healthy. And I think their whole vibe is just going to be exciting. Calling it now, best division in football for 2025, AFC West. All right, who's your number one?
Okay. Number one, I have the New England Patriots. Now, I think they had the best draft, the actual best draft. Definitely. And they spent their money well. So, what I'm going to do is just list out the players that they now have.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Stephon Diggs.
He may get cut.
Yeah, he's had some. He's had some.
He's had
stuff,
some.
but he's
had some weird choices this offseason.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
He's a good player. Matt Collins is solid.
Yes.
Kyle Williams, very good rookie receiver from Washington State. Will Campbell, left tackle.
Right.
Everyone knows about him. Garrett Bradbury, good center. Good veteran. He's okay.
Andrews retired, right? Yeah.
I think so. Or I think so.
Yeah.
Jared Wilson is a great athlete and talented blocker to hopefully take over that role. He might do it in year one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a steal in round 3. I think it was round 3. Morgan Moses is still decent.
Right tackle.
He's right tackle, and the biggest move, of course, that you didn't mention is Joshua Dobbs is now their backup quarterback. So.
The great Joshua Dobbs traveled.
Yeah. Milton Williams. As you said, Harold Landry might have been a bit overpaid, but he can be good depth, and Mike Vrabel knows him. So.
Right. I should also getting Barrymore back healthy. He was out all last year.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson.
Travion Henderson. He will complement Ramondre Stevenson, who's still a solid player, and Robert Spillane, who you mentioned is good linebacker, and Carlton Davis was very good last year for the Lions.
But he doesn't have to play against the ones. I mean, he's got Christian Gonzalez over there. It's just.
And Mike Vrabel, why they hired Gerard Mayo last year was he was their linebacker coach and he was a linebacker under Bill Belichick, so they were hoping he could just be Bill Belichick too. But Mike Vrabel, he was also a linebacker.
Yeah.
But he has head coach experience, and I think one of the best head coach hires. So I think there's just so much that they did, and there's even more that I didn't even mention, or that neither of us mentioned.
Yeah.
So I think Drake May is in a great situation. They have other great pieces like Mike Onwenu is still good. They have Keon White, I think, will hopefully be good this year. So I think the Patriots are. I'm not the only one who believes this.
We didn't even mention Josh McDaniels coming back as OC.
Oh yeah, that's something.
He tried to be head coach twice. I think he realized maybe not for him. But he can be. I'm gonna play OC. Time to be OC. And guess what? When I was OC for the Patriots, we won some Super Bowls.
Yeah. Robert Kraft likes the guys he.
Alright, this video's gone on way longer than we thought. But that's okay. We're just excited about football being back. We're going to try to do more videos throughout the summer, especially our preview videos for the football season. We're going to pump a bunch of those out. And we're excited, of course, for the season. And when it happens, we'll be doing multiple videos a week. Anyways, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.